Hey, it's Steve Gallia from Algonquin Fly Tying Supply, and today we're going to tie a fly that we're all familiar with, the woolly bugger, but we're going to tie it in a bit of a variation. This is going to be a micro bugger, which is a woolly bugger that, in my opinion, is on a size 10 hook or smaller. So this is a 2X size 10 nymph hook right here, and it is, in my opinion, one of the great sizes for micro buggers. A guy in our fly tying club introduced me to this last year, and we had a lot of fun with this and brook trouts and rainbows. And prior to this, I thought a woolly bugger was a fly that was best tied in sizes 4 to 8, a larger size fly for larger size fish. But I had a real education with this. I found that woolly buggers in these smaller sizes really can bring in big fish. I caught a 24-inch rainbow on one of these, and all sorts of great brook trout. So let's get started, shall we? We've got the hook that we're speaking of, and I've also got a thread here, and this thread is a Benecchi extra fine thread. You can go with 6/0 or 8/0 if you'd like, but for smaller flies, I want small heads and small threads to make that kind of thing easier. So I've set up a bit of a base here, nothing too special, and that base is just hanging over the barb of the hook. That's about the right place for it, in my opinion, and we've all got our opinions on woolly buggers. So the first thing we do is pick up a piece of marabou. Now this is where you have an opportunity to use marabou on your bench. The stuff that's been sitting around, it's not really fine quality stuff. It's just perfect for this, actually, because what you're looking for is just a small tuft of marabou, nothing too big. We've got to scale everything down, and so you can take pieces of marabou that might have been previously wasted on larger flies and use them for these buggers and actually do really well with them. So I'm going to make the shift to my tying hand. I want to make the tail roughly the size of the shank, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but that's about right there. First couple of loops will be, let's try going the other way. First couple of loops are going to be soft loops, and then I'll slowly tighten them up until I've got this marabou down. Now you could trim away all the marabou on the body if you'd like, but I actually like it there as a bit of an underbody, so it works fine for me. There's a piece or two back there. The idea is to keep the eye clear, of course, as in every fly. But there you've got a bit of a tail. So the next thing I'm going to do is what some people might consider a bit of sacrilege. I'm going to get a nice dry fly hackle, and I'm going to prepare it for this fly. And the reason why I prepare it for this fly is it's obviously this is going to have the right proportion, and it's going to have that nice stiffness, and I'll be able to make some nice wraps with this. So I prepare them basically by leaving some of the barbs on so they grip the feather. After all, this is just a woolly bugger. It doesn't have to be fantastic. It's a fishing fly, but a nice hackle makes a big difference. So that hackle is attached. The last thing, it's the simplest of all, is the body. Now for the body you can use dubbing, or in this case I'm going to use if you can see that properly, I'm going to use a nice midge diamond braid material. It is a perfect material for this. It's just the right proportion. It's actually made for smaller flies, and so I'll tie this over the top to make a nice body. Then I'll advance my thread again to about 1 eye back from the tip of the hook, and I'll put my bobbin on the cradle. And now here's where I'm going to use the rotary function of my vise. First thing I'll do is get my hackle in my material clip. There it is. Keep that out of the way. Then I will get the micro chenille, and geez, that's just clearing the camera, this vise, but I will slowly wrap that micro chenille forward until I get where I want it to go. And normally I wouldn't use a rotary function of this vise for this, but we're kind of run out of space with the camera. First thing I'll do is I'll throw a couple of loops around this with the bobbin. I'll bring up that chenille. I didn't really give myself a lot of room on that, but I did get enough. And so that's in place. Now I will snip off that tag end of this diamond braid, which is fantastic stuff. Next I'll throw a half hitch on as an insurance policy, because I don't want to have to start this fly again. So a couple of half hitches never hurts. Put the bobbin back on the cradle. I'll get the hackle ready. Because this hackle is so long, I'm not going to have to use hackle pliers on it. So you just wind it forward very slowly and carefully, because it is, after all, hackle and still delicate. When I get to the front, a lot of guys would just tie it off there. I like 3 or 4 nice turns at the front of a woolly bugger, and for no reason other than I just think it makes for a nicer fly. So I've got that. Get my bobbin cradle out of the way now, and all I need to do is make a couple of loops around the back. I could actually even go the other way and do this with my rotary vise. So I've done 1, 2 behind, and now I'm going to pull back all the barbs from the eye of the hook, as many as I can anyway, and I'm going to start forming a head up front here. And here's a good time to remove the remainder of that hackle, which I can use to tie one more fly. So there you have it. I've got, when I started, the fly is essentially tied. That's a nice small head there, and all that's left to do is whip finish it. And I've got a tool here. This is a Griffin whip finishing tool. I'm normally a fan of the Mattarelli tools, but I've been using this one lately, especially on the smaller flies, and I have to say I really like it. It's a fantastic whip finisher for smaller flies. So there is a whip finish. At this point I can remove the thread, clip off some hackles or barbs in front, and now all I need to do is add some cement to the head. And we've got let me clean off my needle. Sometimes this happens, you get a needle that's just got lots of crap on it from sitting around your bench, which this one has. I'm just going to add a little bit of head cement to the eye there, and it's nothing fancy, but this is a great fishing fly. I guarantee it'll catch you lots of fish when other flies might not. It's well worth putting a few of these in your fly tying box, or fly fishing box, I'm sorry, and taking them out on the river or lake. Fantastic little pattern. I mean, the woolly bugger's great in all forms, but this is maybe a surprise to you. So give it a try. Thanks very much, Steve Gallia from Algonquin Fly Tying Supply.